Alrighty, welcome back to the part 2. That was quick. Just quick notice. So, in the foundation part of the intro, you haven't watched it yet, please do. We are going to just kind of list by list, but doesn't mean that they're going to be go by part. So somehow I'll be grouping them together, but just in a different order, of course. So yeah, enough of the talk. Let's jump into it, right? So for part 2, we're going to talk about setup plus marketing. The best way to sync this too, right, is already key, right? Sync setup is the, the seed you plant, right? Sync as the, plant, right? You plant the seed, right? And then when marketing perspective, two simple way, right, is, I know, I'm not trying to be childish, just very simple we do. So organically, you just let the ring happens, right? You have a little cloud, then ring happen, just let it grow on itself. And then we're just AKA organic, right? So just in that way, so easier to understand for you. And then for pay perspective is you just adding more stuff, right? You go Home Depot, you go whatever, right? In the US, and I don't know Europe, whatever you guys have, but you go to the market that have, the hints when you're kind of like install a steroid to the plant to make sure it grow quicker, grow faster, right? So that's why you pay the extra for it, right? You pay the out-of-pocket extra for it to make sure it grow fast, right? And if you nail correctly, you choose the right one, which just mean that it go even stronger, right? Do pretty much like more, in the funny way, just like you grow a little tree, right? And you make the tree much bigger, right? And much stronger. So anyways, so now it doesn't mean that you are just random picked. Sometimes it will work, right? But it will work a little bit. If you want to work the best as possible, you still got to choose. So in the choosing section, it's kind of like dial down back to the organic section, right? So the purpose. So way to set up, right? Previously we talked about physical location and storefront of online presence, right? So that's the only two way, right? So the physical, online. Even though I did mention that I'm not going to talk about physical, you should know exactly what to do for the logo, decorations, construction wise, rebuilding, whatever. That's totally up to you. Or modify, totally up to you. But the idea for this too is pretty similar, right? When people walk past, they're going to see your business, right? But online, same thing. But only difference is when people search, your business online presence is going to show up, right? So this too is the storefront right here. So the cool part is the best way to think about organic, paid, right? It's basically go faster. In the business term is you have a storefront. You physical wise, you already have a decent amount of decorations, right? You have your business name, and then you have, the service you offer, right? So you have all these. Now with online perspective, it's pretty much the same. But what's very key is the decoration itself in order doesn't really come in first. Always come in third or mostly last. As long as it doesn't look too hideous, But what the business itself, right? Business name, people are gonna see, can recognize your business. Service and offer, right? Now only thing that's missing, in the physical one you can have, the online that one's much important wise is gonna be, I'll do it this way, right? The little hook. Then that's the fish. Anyways, or shrimp, whatever, right? You hook that. So the reason why it's so key is these two combine together, right? So you have the planet, which is the setup. You have everything set up, right? Forget about the pay, forget about the organic rain, whatever. You have everything set up. But physical self, part of the setup, right? Online website, part of the setup. So you have this setup, right? To marketing, you're enhancing this thing to get more people to see too, more interest, right? So that's something we are typically really messing around. But of course, lastly, I want to add this one, always not forgetting, will be SAM, aka social media, right? So we have IG, Facebook, TikTok, and then more, right? We have all these. So the best we can do is, because online is free, right? If you don't play the free market, then you post a lot of contents, right? Not just 1-2 contents, not just random contents, not just, hey, we're working out, we're a coach, working out. That's cool, that's inspiring. But what is that your content is a free way to market yourself, right? So the more active you are, that already show you proof that you are well trustworthy, because you're actively, right, post about your business. And it doesn't matter how many views or likes you get, right? It's the fact that your business is always active. That already have sent a little trust for people to look at. It's like, this business is actually running, posting stuff. Now, the content itself is more of a, YouTube can be educational, win, or testimonials, or I call it EMO. Yes, emo. So emo hook. There you go. So emotional hook. So inspirational, motivational hook. But the most key one to really get yourself out there, because you haven't have enough trust yet in the beginning, is really the educational and winning stories. Now, if you don't have winning, do educational. Like I said in a previous video, you haven't watched it, it's really offer something great that's free, more super discounted, and then just always remember that sentence from day one. Doesn't matter if free or discounted, from beta, like free testing to your current where you add in business, always over deliver what you can do, so that way shows more value. And then that's how you get more people to show you care. People like, dude, this is worth the money, man. I paid this much and they offer me so much stuff and it's so good. That's it, right? And then of course eventually you can scale that with all the stuff, right? Getting more motivational, more inspired, more hooking personal stories, education and everything. Now with a paid perspective, right? This is the simplest way. So when we were helping one of the gym that we are running a weight loss program, right? And then just in the first month, by the way, so they were never running any much like a external advertisement, right? It's all running just were currently just like the same refreshing, not some really interesting type of advertising perspective. And of course free on content is more of a Canva generated robotic content. So we run the market. Now because paid, I can see right here, it's more enhanced. Now enhanced doesn't mean always that could be good for you, because if you put in the wrong stuff in there, you're gonna get a tiny bit of result and it's gonna drag you to the wrong place. Your business is not gonna grow that fast. You're just wasting money, right? Because you are actually throwing money into the business, right? And then this is how much you have return back, and this is that just a profit, right? After all the expense. So with paid, you want to make sure your content itself, right? You pay because you push it to go faster, right? Just pretty much like all gas pedal, right? Full go in. You want to make sure you same thing, right? With content perspective, with all these, same thing with the website, everything. So put it right here. So for content, your website, right? Once you enhance, get to that. You want to always make sure the hook is there, right? Are you looking for X, Y, and Z, the dream, the result, the pain to be solved, right? Are you offering this, right, to solve this pain, right? And then of course also the correct audience you're looking for, right? The ICP, right? Ideal client profile, right? And then lastly, call to action, right? If that's you, we can help. So like I said, this is pretty much the setup marketing perspective. This two definitely connected, because you have a great setup, great foundation, right? Part of it, and then all these are pretty much foundation, but just more different layers. And with marketing itself, you have free and paid, and then physically, of course, you can also run different marketing like flyers, everything. This is just a little extra. I'm gonna run it right here. So it's not too often people does it. Still people doing it. So like flyers, right? If you do like a car cleaning, window cleaning, whatever, right? You see people sometimes putting a nice, actually good design flyer on their cars, and sometimes you actually get good returns, right? So run flyer, that's also like a paid market, but for friction and cost. So you just kind of had to send someone to put the flyer on without getting in trouble. People, hey, what the hell are you using my card, right? So yeah, that's pretty much part 2. With part 3, we're gonna have another combo. Like I said, this is gonna be very interesting. Hopefully, give you a great simple idea. If you have more questions, feel free to put a free audio call. We'll love to jump into to see where your current business is at, and then get you to a next level. So make sure you have most of your number prepared. Once you do a booking, if you have any concern, feel free to lay down there to what business you have, and then we'd love to figure it out and get yours, whatever service business you have offered, to the best as possible. So yeah, thank you for watching part 2. We're gonna see you in part 3. So please keep subscribe and then stay tuned. Peace.